Hi, welcome to the video lecture in which I will make the introduction to the gender economics course. As a starting point, actually, I should mention that the course is called Gender Economics, which was the catalog name of the course. But in this course, basically, I'm focusing on feminist economics. So, gender issues in the related to economics can be studied also by different schools in economics. And schools, well, I have taught that uh, if you have taken my introductory courses or Marxist economics course, I have taught about that. I think I also taught on that in labor economics course. They have different viewpoints to the economics as a science. The most famous schools which you are learning in most courses are neoclassical school and the Keynesian school. Keynesian school has also two different two different schools actually have created by the Keynesian school. The new Keynesians are more dominant, but also the traditional Keynesian. I mean the viewpoints Keynes himself and his immediate successors have developed are also studied specifically. So, on gender issues, different schools, including also, for example, Marxian school, neoclassical school, have written a lot. But there's a special school which argues that the actual gender relations and actually beyond that, the role of family and the way that family relations affect further the economic system is not studied a lot in economics, and they actually look to economics, or let's say they actually study various subjects in economics through that perspective. In a way, I mean, feminist school is like a critique of economics. Economics. It is arguing that economics, one side of economics, is void or unstudied, or the analysis cannot be complete because an important factor is neglected in all kinds of studies. So that's basically feminist economics, and certainly it has also very, very broad definition of feminist economics, and it has certainly taken the well, is connected to the feminism in general as an ideology. And actually, the main critique of it to the economics is the fact that men are dominant in sciences, including economics. And since they study, actually, they don't have perspective or certain, I mean, and there actually the critique becomes a little bit more reluctant, and there are discussions within the feminist economists themselves. But the idea, they also state the idea that first, men have some viewpoints, certain roles. Those roles make them aware of certain realities, but not aware of certain other realities, which are still important for an economy. Secondly, also man has certain cultural tendencies. I mean, they are more close to certain methods, for example, while women are close to other methods, or they put more importance on certain things. Men put more importance on certain variables or certain aspects of economy. Women put certain importance on other aspects of the, I mean, economy, or any kind of, let's say, system. So, related, any kind of element related to social system. So, since men and women are different in terms of their perceptions and the if men and women are different in terms of their perceptions and their focus points, basically, and whether they are different is a question. And usually, I mean, feminist economists will argue that that difference comes from culture and the way the society directs men and women into certain direction. And in that case, actually, science in general, economics in particular, may also make use of female approach to it. So we will see more on the feminist critique of economics and how they actually thought that feminist economics itself can contribute to economics in the next class, in next week. Feminist critique of economics, basically, is it. But now let's continue and let me introduce myself. I'm Kerem Cantekin. These are my emails. This is my office. However, you are not able to go to it because of the COVID pandemic. And let me also tell you this, actually. I may use this video also in future semesters. This is actually the spring semester of 2021. And there is pandemic, so the office number and office hours are irrelevant. But if pandemic continues, if I decide that I'm not able to draw better videos, significantly better videos, I may keep these videos as they are and spend my extra time in improving other aspects of the course, like creating maybe better discussions, and maybe I might add certain aspects to the course. I'm considering that. This semester, actually, I will review this course and other courses. So I can keep this video and other videos. I can keep this video and other videos even if we return to the face-to-face education, so that lecturing part of the course will be done through online, and inside of the classroom we might maybe do other activities. So you might be also watching this video in other semesters, actually, even not in spring 2021, but later. So in that case, of course, the office hours might be relevant, although they can change. So again, don't take this into account necessarily. I will announce specifically offline the office hours in that case. Of course, as long as online education continues, the office hours are will be always made through appointment, basically, because well, when you are not at the campus at the same time, actually, for you, adjustment of yourself to the Monday and between 2 and 5, for example, will be very difficult. So I thought making office hours by appointment is more efficient, basically. So I studied as a mechanical engineer in mechanical engineering department in Ankara, METÜ campus, and then I actually liked social sciences from my high school years on. I got my interest actually even in the middle school, and then, but I also had interest in engineering, basically. But kind of, I have applied to the economics master programs in the United States, and I got accepted. For engineering, I mean, the future was a little bit more uncertain at that time. So I have chosen the path of making a master in economics. I like both of them, but from the options I have chosen relatively safer path. So I have made master in New School University, and then the PhD, my PhD in the University of Utah. Both are in United States. In both universities, I have been introduced to diverse viewpoints in economics, as well as the what I call mainstream or neoclassical economics. For example, in New School, my two favorite instructors one of them was a Marxist economist who actually introduced me to the Marxian economics, and it was one of my most interesting experiences of my life. Emrah Sheikh was his name actually. The other instructor was I don't remember his name. Ali Khan, I believe. He was actually very much neoclassical economics and expressed the economic relations. I mean, he was basically mathematizing, making mathematical models of the market system, economic system, basically. That was his, how we make mathematical models of the economic system and how they are relevant to the actual economic system. That was what we learned in the course, and that itself was a very interesting experience, actually. I mean, under which conditions and how we can make we can turn economic realities to the mathematical formulas or models. In University of Utah, we were able to teach courses, not as an assistant, but an instructor. But first, I taught in the Bosporus University, Turkey, and then in University of Utah, USA, and in one summer, I believe 2014, but I might be wrong, I taught in Sichuan, China. So TNSC is the fourth country I'm teaching, and it is the third year I'm teaching now, in 2021. Main principles, actually, this part is when I was teaching, especially courses where I was more free to design them. Marxian economics is most extreme example up to that point. Now, actually, maybe the word economics is the most the course where I can design it more freely. But in some ways, those courses were confusing because they did not look like traditional courses. Even in courses where I'm not that free, I am trying to modify them to some extent. But in courses I am more free, I try to modify them to serve better, in my opinion, to the students' needs. And I still get feedback, and I try to develop them in some cases, backstep in some cases at certain parts. And in some evaluations, I have seen, certain aspects of the course were not understood. For example, in all courses, I try to add certain practical issues, the parts on certain practical issues, and even give assignments on basically those practical issues, or connecting the theories to the practical cases in economics. But some students did not see those parts, actually, did not, and they actually criticized me that those parts were lacking. So I decided to make the introduction more clearly and basically, especially, in order to make my students understand why certain characteristics in the course exist. I also want to speak on the principles behind those basically characteristics of the course. So my main principles are: labor is the most valuable resource we have. The course should be fair. The course should be flexible and provide choices, basically. So I will speak more on this in the next part.